This is The Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mutahi Ngunyi. Today we are annoyed, and because of this, we'll begin by giving Justice Maraga a lecture. This man is either intellectually challenged or he suffers from selective amnesia. He told us that he cannot stop judges from swearing Raila in, that he has no powers to direct judges on what to do. But when Raila's people got arrested, Maraga forgot his promise. He hurriedly directed judges to continue issuing orders until they are obeyed. This is what we call selective amnesia. When it's about Raila, he directs the judges. When it's about Uhuru, he says he has no powers to direct judges. This man has a political sickness. Our judiciary is in the hands of a politically unstable man. And this is why Uhuru has disobeyed irrational decisions by the courts. Consider our reasoning with us.
If the political sickness of Maraga is selective amnesia, is his other defect that of intellectual laziness? If he orders that Matiang'i is in contempt of court and that Boynet should be arrested, who will arrest them? Will Boynet arrest Matiang'i and then arrest himself because Maraga so ordered? If this expectation was a joke, I would have laughed. But it is not. It is real. Legally, Maraga has the heart of a lion. But politically, he has the brain of an ox. And that is why we call him intellectually lazy. For instance, can court orders be disobeyed? Can the state disobey the law to preserve order and the public good? Is what Uhuru did this week allowable? And the answer to this is a resounding yes. In political theory, we call this the Doctrine of Civil Necessity. And necessity is bigger than the law. In order to preserve the public good, necessity makes legal what is illegal. And this is what Uhuru did this week. Let us expound on this.
The doctrine of civil necessity is simple. If a pregnancy is problematic, for instance, should it be terminated or should it be allowed to continue even if it results in the death of both the mother and the child? According to the Maraga logic, the product of a problematic pregnancy is not important. It is the process that is important. And according to him, the process should continue uninterrupted, whether it results in death or not. But the doctrine of civil necessity demands that the life of the mother must be preserved. Though it may be unlawful, the law, in this instance, has to be broken in order to save the mother. In this case, necessity makes lawful what is previously unlawful. Mother Kenya has a problematic political pregnancy, and Maraga is not interested in the end product. If both the mother and the child die, but the law is observed, Maraga is happy. To Uhuru, however, saving Mother Kenya is more important than the law. If it is necessary to break the law in order to save country, he will do it.
You only revert to the doctrine of civil necessity when you are in crisis. Zimbabwe used the doctrine of necessity to suspend the constitution and remove Mugabe. Their unlawful acts became lawful when Mugabe resigned. In February 2010, the Nigerian parliament was on the horns of dilemma. The president was sick, in hospital, and the deputy, Goodluck Jonathan, could not act as president. Parliament used the doctrine of necessity to suspend sections of the constitution in order to appoint Goodluck as acting president. So far, Uhuru has used this doctrine justifiably. However, he should precipitate a bigger crisis. Arresting 2 people does not qualify as a crackdown. Shutting 3 stations out of 63 does not qualify as an attack on media. In fact, the two actions are not big enough to attract the use of the doctrine of necessity. Uhuru should arrest Raila, then declare a state of emergency in areas with unrest. This way, he can justify the use of necessity over the law.
Now I must play the devil's advocate. I am completely opposed to this doctrine of necessity for two reasons. One, what if Uhuru makes it a way of life? What if he enjoys it too much and decides to trash the law in the name of national necessity? Put differently, what are the limits of this doctrine? Two, given that Raila is a copycat who made himself president to imitate Uhuru, is he likely to copy Uhuru? He told us, mkiapisha tutaapisha. Will he tell us now that mkifanyako doctrine tutafanyako doctrine? Will he use the doctrine of necessity to justify his illegalities? I am asking these questions because I am frustrated. Why can't we get to the bottom of what is bugging our country? Didn't Mzee Kenyatta teach us that wanaume ni kuonana? In our view, the constitution is the problem. We ate a half-baked constitution and now we are all politically constipated. And if this is the truth, why not correct it? Why use the doctrine of necessity to whitewash a bad constitution?
As a young lawyer, I think Uhuru is telling us something using the doctrine of necessity. But we are not listening. He's like President Franklin Roosevelt. During a dinner party with some diplomats, Roosevelt was frustrated by people staring at him as he shook their hands. But he was more frustrated that they did not even hear a thing he said. To prove his point, he decided to do an experiment. As he greeted each of his guests at dinner, he told them, "I murdered my grandmother this morning." The first diplomat responded, "Oh, how sweet." The second diplomat said, "That is a good policy, sir." The third diplomat said, "Peace on earth to you too." But the fourth diplomat was attentive. He responded, "I am sure your grandmother asked for it. Now, can you kill mine too?" They had a good laugh. The ice was broken. In our view, Uhuru is telling the country, "I murdered my grandmother this morning." But Raila is hearing his own things. He's responding with T-beam and tialala because he's not listening. If Raila can take time to listen to Uhuru, the ice will be broken and dialogue will happen.
Uhuru has shown Raila the contempt card. He has said absolutely nothing about the Raila swearing in, and he has spoken no politics for weeks now. His silence is so loud that we can hear it. And as they say, silence annoys even the devil himself. And maybe Uhuru should keep it that way. I say so because the more he shows Raila the Matharao card by refusing to arrest him, the more foolish Raila looks, in my view. Raila's Hard Talk interview with BBC this week, for instance, made him look like a cartoon. He was incoherent, his reasoning was laughable, and he sounded like a joke. Bottom line, if Raila has become a joke, it is because Raila has no plan. If Raila does not know what a plan is, it's because he has never done his politics ever using a plan. In fact, if a plan hit him on the head, you not even recognize it, in my view. It's because Raila is not a strategist. He is a tactician. And tacticians are like magicians. They rely on lies, tricks, and chance. If a magician like Raila ran out of lies, tricks, and chance, he gets confused. And this is what has happened to the poor guy. When Uhuru refused to arrest him, he got confused. And if this is so, then Uhuru should keep it that way.
And now, our final thought. It is random. This week, a Raila operative told us that someone had put a death promise on him. Some guy posted an obituary in one of the local dailies, claiming that this Raila man had died. It was a sick joke. and we condemn it as cowardly because it targeted vulnerable family members. However, this event raised some questions in our minds. But the only question we must ask is one: who benefits from the Wanjigi death promise? In the past, we have posed this as a cui bono question. And we have said that if you identify the beneficiary, you will identify the killer. And so, who benefits from the Wanjigi threat? Now, we will pose the same question regarding Miguna. If he had died in police custody, as the NASA narrative suggested, who would have benefited? And is Miguna safe wherever he is? Does he know who his enemies are? After swearing himself in, the only thing that will give Raila oomph is a bizarre event. And an assassination of a NASA big fish has potential to do so. Is this a plot? We have no